What happened before the most famous battle of the Old West? We'll take you on the trail to the Little Bighorn, just ahead. This is today's Wild West. If you love watching today's Wild West, you'll love reading Great Rides of Today's Wild West, a 10 by 12 hardcover coffee table photography book profiling more than 24 horseback adventures across the spectacular American West with more than 300 color photographs. Makes a great gift and just $39.99 shipping included. Get yours at todayswildwest.com. Great Rides of Today's Wild West. There's an endless fascination with the Old West battle known as Custer's Last Stand. Hundreds of thousands of people visit the Little Bighorn Battlefield National Monument every year, where General George Custer and much of his 7th Cavalry were wiped out by Sioux and Cheyenne warriors. But there's a much bigger story beyond the battlefield you can now see along the back roads of southeast Montana.
This is Custer's campsite, June 22nd.
It's like a fascinating roadside history book on an often overlooked but crucial part of Custer's Last Stand.
The 7th Cavalry arrived here about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Free for anyone to see who's willing to pull off the busy interstate.
There was a lot of Indian activity that they were seeing on the north side of the Yellowstone. Lieutenant James Bradley, Chief of Scouts, proceeded up this drainage right here. This is Butte Creek drainage. And eventually you're going to get to the high ground there. Those are called the Rosebud Buttes.
Along the region's county highways and back roads, you'll discover 19 new roadside markers telling the story of the trail to the Little Bighorn, the significant events leading up to and immediately following the most famous battle of the Old West.
Essentially, it's an invitation to get off the interstate and follow these little 2-lane roads and read about Montana history. Custer was also ordered.
The new markers are the work of retired educators Ellis Perry and Dennis Kapitsky.
We are sitting on a gold mine as far as the Custer junkies are concerned.
This area's peaceful country roads belie the dramatic history that took place here nearly 150 years ago.
The events leading up to and in the aftermath of the Custer battle were as interesting as the battle itself. See this big open field here? That's where the 7th Cavalry was camped just prior to their march up Rosebud Creek.
There are still mysteries, like the fate of 7th Cavalry Trooper Nathan Short, sent on a scouting mission before the battle by Custer and never seen again. The remains of a soldier were found miles away months later, where a small memorial was erected in 1886.
There's some controversy as to who it actually is. The point is that many cavalrymen, troopers died lonely deaths. It was a tough place to live.
There are also markers from 1873, 3 years before the Little Bighorn, when Custer and the 7th were sent here to protect the survey crew for a new railroad and fought 3 skirmishes with the Lakota.
The Indians, their tactics were strike and then run away, strike and run away. Custer felt, and the officer corps to a man felt that the Indians would run away the first time somebody in a blue uniform showed up. Well, that didn't happen at the Little Bighorn.
Southeast Montana also has a wealth of small-town museums with their own historic treasures.
There's small museums in virtually every small community that you visit. Forsyth has a very nice museum. Hysham, there's a small museum there.
It's all fascinating stuff.
Interesting story. These 3 guys are out hunting. They're up there out of the sight of the troops, and they got trapped by the Indians. And they look up on the bluffs, and there's the Lakota watching the funeral.
And while it was a long time ago, it's American history that has much in common with the battles of today.
If you read the backstory, Custer got cross-wired with President Grant because he criticized the president's brother. If kids want to study history and understand the nature of politics in America today, all I have to do is look at Custer and what was going on 130 years ago.
And you can read that story and walk where it happened on the back roads of southeast Montana.